All right, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy God's Own DJ, aka God in the Wax, bringing you another video. So this time, I want to talk about one of my favorite producers of all time. This dude, I'm sure he needs no introduction. Everybody who's in the music production and probably DJing game and a true hip hop fan will know who he is. His name is JDilla. JDilla passed away. I forget what year it was exactly, but he's been gone, from the world for a long time now. I'm sure his family misses him a lot, but his fans miss him as well. We miss his influence on the music industry. Jay Dilla was really one of the most virtuoso music producers of our era. Kanye likes to call himself a genius, but Jay Dilla was a true genius. He changed the way things were done by everybody. People emulated him, copied him, and that's the mark of a true genius. You don't have to tell people you're a genius and convince them you're a genius. You show you're a genius by the things that you do. So anyway, I've been reading this book here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's called Dilla Time by Dan Charnas, or Carnas, however you pronounce his last name. But and as you can see, I'm like halfway through, a little bit over halfway through it, and I want to finish reading it. But it's definitely a good book. It talks about Dilla's early days, growing up in Conant Gardens and in Detroit. His meeting his girlfriend Joylette, I think her name was. His buddies T3 and Batin, that he formed some village with. It talks about all that stuff, But it's just really been an interesting read, to hear about his life and how things played out for him, meeting Q-Tip and Questlove and Common, and being part of the Soulquarians, the Uma, and things like that. Those are a lot of things that I didn't have too much information on as I was learning about Jay Dilla, and it's cool to be able to hear about the stories and things like that. I think Dan did a lot of homework as far as talking to people that were in Jay Dilla's life, his family, his friends, the people he worked with, to learn about how things played out in the sequence of events in his life. This book even goes into just some music theory at a very base level, or very surface level. Talks about music theory and how Jay Dilla altered music theory, or did things his own way. But yeah, so what I wanted to talk about real quick was just like, if Jay Dilla had survived his illness and was still around today, imagine what he could have done with the technology that we have now, with these modern MPCs, with modern computers, the power and the capability that they have. I know Jay Dilla, even when things started to change, in the early 2000s, he still wanted to kind of stay with the older MPC and the RAM limitations and things like that. But I think he would have eventually, jumped on board and tried out the new stuff and the new dolls and things like that, Reason, Fruity Loops and all that stuff, and Ableton. And he would have, tried to see how he could use the new technology to his advantage and to make music and to make newer and better things, We're really, blessed to be living in this day and time as music producers, music lovers, beat makers, DJs, to have the technology that we have at our disposal right now. Something like Stems. Stems is an amazing feature. We have it on the standalone MPCs now. Everybody has access to it. We can all use it and take advantage of it. So you can take, any album, record you might find in a record shop that you want to sample, and you can kind of stem it out and play with the results, to get what you want to get and to make your music. Those are things that were not necessarily available to somebody like Jay Dilla in the 90s and early 2000s. So I think it would have been really cool to see what he could have done with it, I don't know why people like that get taken away from us so quickly, truly gifted people like that, but I'm sure there's some reason, who knows what it is. You could go, well, anyway, I'm not going to go there. I guess go conspiratorial, but I'm not going to do that. But, I don't know why JDilla was taken away from us so early, but he was definitely a gifted dude musically. He was very talented with music, and it would have been nice to see what he could have done with music uh, in this times that we are in right now with the technology we have and the things we have access to. Um, Even somebody like Biggie or Tupac, those dudes were so talented as rappers and lyricists. They got taken away from us far too quickly. Uh, I would have liked to have seen. We got Jay Z is kind of the sole survivor of that kind of group, even though he wasn't really on their level at that time. But he's a sole survivor, and he's still making music and things like that. Nas is still making music, but I would have liked to see what Tupac and Biggie could have done musically, where they would have gone to with their personalities as they got older and matured, where they would have gone to with their music, things like that. So it's really sad when you think back to those guys who were so talented in the 90s. We don't really have anybody like that right now coming along that's just a virtuoso at what they do. I don't know why that is. I'm curious as to why that is. I have a feeling. I think people like that who are really gifted or talented get like sidetracked mentally by video games and computer games and all this, social media and stuff like that. Like rather than sit down and really learn something and master it, they have too many distractions going on, so they can't really tap into their true potential uh, of what they can do at an early age. And then as they get older, of course, life, kids, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever it might be, they get sucked into that, and boom, now they're doing that. Now they're living life. Now they're paying bills. Now they're trying to keep a roof over their head, trying to keep food on the table. So that youthful freedom uh, gets wasted on video games and social media and YouTube and Twitch and things like that. And then once they reach a certain age, they have to buckle down and get with the business and pay bills. So uh, I have a feeling that as time goes on and as more technology comes available to these young kids and things like that, we won't see so many talented individuals come up anymore. Turntablism. I'm a DJ. Turntablism is already kind of like a dying art or a dying craft. People don't really focus on turntablism or beat juggling. The things they used to do back in the 90s and 80s with two turntables and a very basic analog mixer. It was amazing. It was amazing what they did and how they were resourceful and things like that. And now I don't know if DJs are necessarily that resourceful and that talented as those guys were. At least not the DJs starting out now. I'm sure there's some one-off cases, but we don't really see DJs like that anymore. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I highly recommend this book, Dilla Time. Pick it up. You can find it on Amazon, I'm sure, or check out your bookstore, your Barnes and Noble, or whatever Borders books, whatever's near you, if you have one still around. Dilla Time is definitely a good book, good read. If you're a JDilla fan or you're just a hip hop fan or a music fan, you'll find a lot of good stuff in this book. That's it for the video. Have a good one. Peace out.